This is part 2 of my budget travel tips, so make sure to watch part 1 if you haven't already. But this is how I visited 12 countries last year and spent less than £2,400 in total on everything. So my next tip is to try and get accommodation with some sort of cooking facilities, whether that be a hostel kitchen or an Airbnb. I do love to try out the local food when I'm travelling, but obviously that can add up fast when you're on a budget, so I do try to limit myself to one meal and one snack or drink out per day and then cook the rest myself. And then for the rest of my meals I'll just buy like some pasta and a jar of sauce or something cheap. For me personally, this is the perfect balance of getting to try new food and also sticking to my budget. Obviously it is up to personal choice though. And this does also depend where you're going, as some places like Southeast Asia it can be just as cheap to buy street food, but this isn't the case for most of Europe, so just keep that in mind. Tip number 5 is to make sure you compare every type of accommodation. If I'm not pet sitting, I'll usually check Hostelworld, Airbnb and Booking.com, depending on where I'm going and if I'm travelling with someone else. For example, the cheapest option if you're solo travelling is almost always hostels, but if you're travelling with someone else it can be cheaper to get an Airbnb or a hotel room than 2 beds in a hostel. I've also heard good things about couch surfing, but I haven't tried this yet, so can't personally recommend it. But let me know in the comments if you have though. My next tip is quite a specific one, so if you're trying to visit as many new countries as possible on a budget, which I was last year, take advantage of cities where you can take a day trip to another city in another country. For example, Copenhagen in Denmark to Malmö in Sweden is a 45-minute train. And let me know if you want any more examples of these, because I spent quite a lot of time finding the best international day trips last year. So that's it for part 2 of my budget travel tips, and make sure to follow me for part 3.